So frustrating, technology.
And we're live. And he said to me he sucks at this, but he apparently does because we're going live and he's still talking. But this is okay because some people call him Insta Genius and some people say that he's an Instagram Yoda. So there must be something really right with him somewhere. And I'm so delighted that I have this person on my show today. And only but Eddie Smith. Hi, Eddie, and welcome to the Easy Live Chat.
Hey, thank you for having me, Juliette.
Juliette.
How do you Juliette?
It's Juliette. It's like Romeo and Juliet.
That's what I thought. All right.
That's quite easy. My husband actually once went to Verona to a Balcone de Juliette, and he put a little note in, and he put Juliet plus Romeo equals love, and then he scratched out Romeo and put his name in. So we're in there somewhere, definitely. How are you today, Eddie?
I'm great. Yourself?
I am very, very good. Thank you very much. So here we are, and I want to talk to you today about you, basically. I want to know all about you. This is the first time that we are meeting live, and I was telling this to Eddie earlier before we went live, but apparently I'm like Oprah, and I don't meet my guests before the shows, maybe like 2 minutes before the shows. And I love to keep it that way because we get great time on the show, getting to know each other, and it's great chemistry as well. So everybody's welcome, guys. If whoever is watching at the moment, thank you very much for joining us. But can you please type a Y in the comments just to let us know that you can see and hear as well. And if there's any issues, do let us know. And if there's no issues, hit that love button and give us some Facebook juice. So Eddie, will you
hit that love button and hit the share button as well?
Oh, yes, definitely. Invite everybody. It's going to be awesome, this show. So we're going to start with a little introduction, and I will first introduce myself because it's my show and my party. So for those people who are joining on Eddie's side and they don't know me, my name is Juliette Stapleton, and I'm an organic marketing expert. I specialize in Facebook, and I specialize in teaching people, mostly service-based entrepreneurs, how to make it on Facebook, how to create a position of authority on Facebook using non-spammy, non-salesy ways, authentic marketing. And this is what I do. And Easy Chats is my chance to talk to successful entrepreneurs all over the world and find out how did they make it in their online businesses, and what is the magic that's behind them, what's driving them, and what are their dreams as well. So today I want to talk to Eddie. And Eddie, if you want, please introduce yourself and tell us what you do and in general about your business.
Well, I want to thank you for having me on your show. Huge fan, really love what you're all about, and I love your energy. When you approached me for this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. So thank you. My name is Eddie Smith. I live in Chicago, Illinois. Some people call me the Insta Genius or the Instagram Yoda, but really I'm just a regular guy, just like any of you guys watching this. I'm originally from Washington State, grew up extremely poor, and kind of like that guy that you didn't want your kids hanging out with, but then you did because I was a little bit of both. But now I, am spreading my message through Instagram and marketing, and just really trying to empower others and inspire them to become the best versions of themselves, because you never know what they can do for this world.
Okay, and how did this happen, this change? What was the cause for the big change in you, in your life story?
Spending a night in jail will do wonders for you. I'm just being transparent, like you hit rock bottom, and you can either let it make you or you can let it break you, and I chose to let it make me.
Well, this is actually not, it's not the first time and not the last time. And whether it's a jail, it could be a very embarrassing moment, whatever it takes. But it's very often that it takes a kick in the ass to actually do something with your life. And sometimes it can happen overnight. And so some other people, it takes maybe years to find themselves first and, then start doing something. So how did it all then begin in business for you? Where did you start, and how did you manage to become an Insta Genius?
Well, my story is a little bit different. So I'm the person that hates social media I was the guy that would delete my Facebook to like deactivate it. I would go months or years without even using Instagram. You know, I've had my Instagram Mr. Smith.3 since Instagram came out in 2010, and I just am completely I was completely anti media. I felt like it was supposed to connect us, but really it drew us further apart. And
it's definitely must have been a was, because I would have never guessed the way you are now. And, you know, looking at you, what you're doing in your profile, and like, what? Go on.
So about a year ago, in like February of 2016, my mentor, Brandon Dukowski, he was telling me about this guy, Jason Stone. And he actually started telling me about Derek Halpern from Social Triggers. And he's telling about these two guys and how they're crushing on social media. And he's like, this is what I've been telling you need to do. You need to do this. And I was like, I don't know, man. You're crazy. Like, no one wants to listen to me. I have nothing important. I don't even like social media. And so I started following Jason Stone on Snapchat. And he's talking about how he's crushing it on Instagram. And at the time, I was at a very low point in my life. I was just very depressed and lost. And I was like, you know what? I was desperate, honestly. So I clicked this clickbait, and I got put into his Millionaire Mentor Mastermind group. And from there, he had talked about how he was crushing it on Instagram and making all this money with digital altitude and this, that, and the other thing. And he made us post. He said, you know, like, the best way to grow your Instagram is to be in an Instagram group, right? Direct message Instagram group. Well, of course, and this is no knock on anybody watching this, everyone's like, oh, put me in yours. You know, no, you idiots. He's telling you to go make your own. So I made like 10 of these groups. And I had like 10 DM groups, and I started an Instagram account. And that was where my journey started. You know, I was trying to grow my Instagram, and I was following his lead. And back then, my account, Made for Motivation, I posted high definition images with quotes on my quotes. I didn't use like famous people quotes. I wanted to use like my own content, right? Like, we all want to have our own content. Was it difficult? And my account got banned within like 2 months. I've got 1,000 followers, and I got my account banned. I was breaking the rules. I was following and unfollowing too much. You know, I was barely getting any sleep. I was trying to run and organize all these groups. It was overwhelming. And that was back in, you know, June. So it took me from like January to June to really
so all this is this year?
No, last year.
Oh, last year. Okay.
Yeah. And so Instagram DM groups, I was like, I can't do this. I got tired of it. You know, I couldn't keep up with everybody's posts. I was in all these groups. They weren't quality. And I was working a full-time job. I had a newborn. Like, all of these things. Like, it was overwhelming. And so then someone introduced me to GroupMe. And it was just a glorified DM group, but a lot more posts that you had to like and keep up with. Even more overwhelming. Well, somebody came and they messaged me on Instagram, and he ended up becoming my friend. But he said, hey, you should join our Telegram group. And it was in a rounds format. So for those who don't know, like a Instagram DM group, you just like and comment on like a thread of images or posts. Well, with Telegram, they were switching it to a round. So like 3 times a day, there would be a group of individuals who would gather and drop their usernames, and you'd go and like their most recent post. And so I tried it, and it was weird. It was extremely weird. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing it. I was like, why are you trying to steal my identity? But I like it. So from there, I made it my goal to become an admin of one of these groups. Like, I've always been a leadership oriented person and driven to like take positions of leadership. So what did I do? I ended up becoming an admin of this group. And I remember, you know, in like August, September, like we would get excited to have like 70 people on these rounds. And it's like new record. You know, now I go back and I look at the group that I created. It's got almost 5,000 members. And, you know, rounds are like hundreds of people, and it's impossible to do without a bot now. And I don't know. I was still struggling. And I gave up in like November, December. I quit posting. I was like, screw this, I'm done. I was spending so much time and energy maintaining the group and growing it, and trying to do these rounds that would take a full hour, you know, and trying to work full time and be a dad and manage a social life, and like it was overwhelming. And so I deleted Telegram, got rid of my account, you know, logged out of my Instagram account, and I was like, screw this. Went back to hating social media, deactivated my Facebook. Like I was like, I'm going back to how I was. Like I don't care anymore. I'm done.
So what changed? What caused the change then that you're back here now?
Well, January came, February came, and I was still like depressed and not satisfied with my life. And actually, one of my buddies, another admin, had messaged me. I was like, let me log into my account and just kind of see. You know, by this time I had a new job. It was supposedly like my dream job. I was selling billboards for a Fortune 500 company. And one of my friends like, are you all right? Like, what happened? You just dropped off the face of the earth. And I was like, you know, like they were really my friends, you know. And I was like, let's try this again. So I slowly started to work my way back into the rhythm of things. But I still was like, I don't know, like kind of like arm's length. Well, I just basically got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I kept seeing people just so crushing it. But now, you know, I've reactivated my Facebook, and I'm seeing so many people crushing it on Instagram. And so I was like, all right, I got, you know, I've never been a quitter. I've never given up on things in my life. So let's tackle this. And I decided to get back after it and get back on that horse. And that's when I kind of opened my mind up to some of the different strategies and techniques that we're using to really crush it on the platform. And, you know, it was really a turning point in about February, March, where I started to have great success. And the only reason I started to have that great success is because I opened my mind and I quit being so me. You know, I was falling into the trap of me. And you can't do that when you're a marketer. You know that all too well.
Well, I suppose, you know, with me, yes, of course, there is a growth when you start doing this. There's certain things that you have to get over and certain things that you have to open your mind to, and then certain other things that you need to learn, as saying no and, you know, feeling good about, you know, not people pleasing, you know, when you are connecting to people. There's lots of things that are happening. Although one thing that I'm hoping that still is the same is that I'm still that mad Juliette and nothing's changed there, you know. It's only really just little habits that's changing, you know. But I see what you're saying. So there's a mind shift happened when you just stopped giving up on things and hating and just going in, and obviously it was a very successful decision for you.
Oh yeah, life changing, hands down.
So between, let's say, this February and now, which is kind of just over, well, half a year, what's changed in your position? Like, what's your, just give me like, what are you now comparing to what you were then?
Well, then, you know, I was a slave to the 9 to 5. By no means am I like crushing it in terms like I got a Lambo outside. Like, no, you know, like I'm a dad and, you know, like I've got obligations, responsibilities, but I don't have to go and report to a job that I hate. I don't have to be treated like crap by, you know, my bosses. You know, I've been in sales since I was 14, extremely high pressure, high stress, you know, like it's overwhelming as well, but that's the profession I went into and I love it. But now, you know, I have a lot more freedom. As you see, like I'm in gym clothes, it's in the middle of the day. I had spent time with my daughter. You know, I make money from my phone and my laptop. You know, I wake up in the morning, I jump on my phone, I post on Instagram. I go on Facebook, you know, I do live videos. I rarely sleep, but like, I love it, you know, like it's this journey that I'm on that is really allowing me to live my dream life and create my dream life. Am I there yet where I want to be? No. Will I get there? Soon enough, you know? And
so would you say that when you start working, you know, for those people who are still trying to make it and they're not even near to what you're describing, you know, how long do you reckon one needs to wait until the tipping point happens? That, where would you be able to sort of put your finger on, because I think that the worst thing that majority of people that I talk to say, it's just they're saying, oh, we're doing everything, but nothing ever happens. And then eventually nothing ever happens, because I think that they're giving up just before it happens. So how, in your observation, it works, if you want to make it like?
It's different for every person. I'm very blessed to have a strong support system around me that is giving me the agency and the ability to chase after my dreams. Like kids, when they're growing up, they want to be firefighters or astronauts. Like, yeah, I want to be the first Black president, but Barack Obama beat me to that, so I had to create a new goal, right? I've always wanted to be a business person. And I've always wanted to, like, what's that movie, Pretty Woman, where he's a businessman and he buys, like, he's a venture capitalist, I believe, and he buys other businesses. Like, I want to be him. And so for me, it's been a passion that's burned deep inside me for a long time. But not everybody has that kind of support system or has the blessings that I do to be able to, like, be doing this right now. I would say for anybody that is wanting to do it, like, you've got to be willing to do the most difficult things, and that's sacrifice your happiness. It's short term. I know people they give me a hard time for this, but you really got to sacrifice that short-term happiness and social life and all the things that you hold near and dear that make you feel good, but they're distractions. And if you're working a full-time job or a part-time job, or you're a parent, whether it's single or traditional family or whatever it is, like, you've got to be willing to put in those extra hours and burn that midnight fuel and sacrifice some sleep and those nights out on the weekends and stuff to be able to work on what you really want to accomplish. Because if you're not willing to make those sacrifices and put in that extra work to free yourself from whatever it is that's holding you back, bonds, your chains of society, I question if you really even want it, or you just want the idea of it.
That's right. I was just thinking, like, this is exactly the point. If everything that you do in life, if you want to achieve it, you need to put something in. If you want this to be given back to you, you have to put something in. If it's a degree you're doing, you have to put in hours of studying and reading and learning and, exams. And that's all kind of like, it's a lot of pressure, but there's something at the end to get your certificate. Or with the business, it's the same. You're working really hard, maybe first 2-3 years. After 2 years, if you didn't make it, maybe you need to change something in your business, but if you are really putting all it takes, what is a Saturday night to give up? What is the social life to give up for a little bit if you can create the lifestyle of your dreams? Exactly. There is no comparison. Like, I live in Ireland at the moment, and I want to move to Spain. And everything I do is because I want to take my family, I want to take my husband and bring him to Spain. And I know that both of us will have like 20 extra years there, living in the sun, having, good quality food and enjoying our lives. I don't care about Saturday nights. I don't care about having social life. I don't care about not meeting people, because this can, make my dreams come true. And meeting people for a drink, absolutely want. It's simple. This is so simple. But this is what holds most of people back. They are just not prepared to sacrifice and give it what it takes. And you know what? You have a very small child, 2 years old now. It's a she or a he?
She. I know. Her name is Hunter Ann.
She's extremely cute.
In October. Thank you.
Yeah. So to have a baby that age, that takes a lot of. It takes a lot of commitment. So to be able to actually grow your business and put as many hours as you're describing, and I know all about it because I'm spending ridiculous amount of hours on social media because I started working here, plus the rest of the commitments that I have in my digital marketing, done for you service. That's like all over. It becomes a huge commitment. And then, people do question you. And funny how sometimes people close to you would question you and say, you're there all the time. time. You're on Facebook all the time. And I'm saying, well, you just wait and see, because, you know, in 2 years time on the beach, I'm going to remember that you said to me that you're spending time on Facebook. That's right. And it's going to happen, because everything happens when you do it consistently over a period of time. You can achieve anything. You know, failure is only in here. And if you continue going to your goal, everybody who has ever done it achieved what they wanted. You know, as simple as that. So I love that. And that actually shines through, you know, some of the live videos that I've seen. You kind of, like today, earlier on, you just went in and like went live and just talked about the philosophy in life. And I love that, because there's a lot of very good, I can see how you were putting your own quotes on the images. You know, you have a lot to say. And I like that kind of philosophy. You know, some people need to hear this. And I think it's great to go sometimes to go live and not talk necessarily about your business or what you're selling, but actually what you think about things in life, you know, and share that, because somebody might be watching that video and that's all they needed to hear to change their life. That's the tipping point for them, to the mindset shift for them. So this is what I love. But I want to ask you, if you were saying to me, I don't like social media, I don't like this, don't like that, how come that you're so good at live videos?
I'm not. Have you watched any of my original ones?
You're so natural. You're just like the most natural person, and it's just like the content is coming out of you, and it's not this thing like, you know, sometimes I'm prone to distraction, you know, so I'll be talking to you and let's say, thank God there's no comments on this that I can see that are popping in. Not that there's no comments on our chat, but they're not popping up, because I'm like, whoop, and I'm distracted and I completely lost concentration, and it's terrible. But when I watch your videos, you are sort of going on about whatever, you were cooking breakfast or something, and then you're so philosophical, you're talking about everything. And I thought, geez, this man doesn't even know that there's a camera pointed at him, or, you know, how do you do that? Tell me, how did you start with the whole live videos and videos? Was there any kind of demons that you had to face, or was it a natural thing when it started? How did it all come into your life? I know that you're much younger than me. I'm 40 this year, so 41 actually just now. But I'm just saying, so I'm not in that generation. I grew up, there was no smartphones, you know, but anyways, not everybody is comfortable with videos. So what was it for you?
I don't know. All right, so like, I met some really amazing people when I very first started. I don't even know really where to start. All right. Well, one, like being an athlete, like you're always used to like playing in front of crowds, right? But you're like separated because they're in the stands. So I guess that might have helped. I was in like choir and stuff, and like I was kind of a nerd. I did plays, and you know, like I was like the good bad kid growing up. I don't know if that makes sense or not. But
you were misbehaving on the streets, but then you were like in all the activities in school. Is that? Yeah. But then if something's wrong, you were the first one to say, fuck them all, let's go. I was like that.
Straight A's in schools, and then I'd go on the corner like get in a fight. And
that actually shows high intelligence, and that actually shows when you are such a high active child, and you might be very intelligent in school, and yet you can be completely unrulable. Is that a word? You know, you're unrulable person. Like my husband is like that. You know, he was a genius in school, and then yet he went in and put a school on fire. So, but actually, he's an extremely intelligent person. He's a huge IQ. So I'd say this is the case there, because you know, not everybody can crack Instagram in like 5 months or something as well. So, you know. But anyway, tell me, yeah.
All right. So my mentor Brandon. So when I was 15, I had come to Chicago, and I got arrested for getting in a fight, and I had to stay here. You know, I told them that I was from Washington, and they're like, yeah, right. You know, and then they realized I really was from Washington. They're like, you can't. It's like, whatever. So I met my friend, my mentor, my life mentor, my business mentor, one of my best friends, Brandon Nikowski. He runs a 7-figure business out of his basement, you know, because of that. He was one of my first friends. And he would always tell me, like, I had this, like this people-to-people thing. And then I went to college, whatever. Like, fast forward, and I meet a good friend. I wouldn't quite call her a mentor, but she's a great friend, Marina. I think I butchered her name. I suck so bad at pronunciations. She's Ukrainian. She lives in Las Vegas. She's a real estate agent. And we talk about marketing and business and this and that. And one of the statistics that we both had come across, she's like, hey, Eddie, did you read this? That by the end of 2017 or 18, 80% of all media, especially social media content, will be video content. We'll fast forward a little bit further, and Facebook unwhips this live feature, right? And it's always been one of my goals to kind of open up, because I'm a very closed off person, and tell my story. There's a book that I plan on writing, Memoirs of a 20-something-year-old fuck up. And I looked at this Facebook Live feature as my first opportunity to like start telling my story, like vlogging. Well, it was cringeworthy. Like I said, it was miserable, horrible. I was uncomfortable. The people watching it were uncomfortable. But if you keep pounding on the door and you keep practicing, and you keep trying to hone these skills, that you'll become better at them. And eventually, right. like I said earlier, you know, I took away me, and I just started thinking out loud. I'm a very introvert person, and so I spent a lot of time thinking. Too much time thinking. It's like a gift and a curse.
Overthinking, yes.
Yeah, I'm an overthinker. And so when I quit trying to like do these like scripted, or not scripted, but like, you know, like perfect videos, and just started being myself and not caring anymore and just thinking out loud, that's when I really seen the light bulb, you know, go on. And I said, you know, I like doing this a lot more. And I had we're not friends anymore, but he was very critical and me kind of believing in myself. And he would always like make me feel so self-conscious, like, you need to cut your hair, you need to wear nicer clothes, you need to shave your beard, you can't say fuck, you know, like, he would make me like, feel so rigid, you know, and uncomfortable. And I'm very thankful he's not in my life anymore, but I'm thankful that he came back into my life for that short period of time, because it was really him that made me say, fuck it, I don't care, I'm Eddie. I'm going to think out, I'm going to be crazy, I'm going to be messy, I'm going to be the person that I am, the only person I know how to be. And when I started being that person and thinking out loud and just telling people what was really on my heart, on my mind, and my soul, you know, like the most authentic, uncut, raw version of myself, I became more and more confident. And I started to see my world around me change. And I started to even see my business start to pick up. And I quit being so concerned with what my friends were doing on the weekends, and I quit everything, just, you know. And then I was like, all right, I suck at telling stories. I need to become better. Random fact about me: in high school, I was on the debate team. You know, public speaking. I was on team debate and oration, and you know, I'm a corporate communication major, so I've given a lot of presentations and speeches. You know, I've been in sales, like I've done door to door and this, that, and I know all about the elevator speeches, but I sucked at storytelling. So I've been reading audiobooks. Thank you, Brandon and Marina, for that also. And I found the art of storytelling from professionals to the parents. And I started applying the principles in that book. And then I really started to become even more confident and became, I don't know, like sometimes I'm on live and I'm like, wow, you know, I finish it and it's like 35, 40 people are watching it, and it just blows my mind. But honestly, it's not me. It's the people that support me, people that always tune in, always giving me positive feedback. If they don't have positive feedback, they make sure they send it to me in my message, and they don't do it in a nasty way. But you know, it's the people that support me and that relate to me that inspire me and empower me to continue to do this. Because would I do it if they didn't support me like I was? You know, I just kept doing it. I think I've done like over 100 live videos now. But just the repetitiveness and becoming more comfortable in my own skin. And I really am thankful for everybody that supports me and that, you know, has become part of my tribe, because it's because of them that I keep going, and I feel as confident and as I know that I'm not alone.
It's like a wonderful symbiosis. You give yourself, you're being authentic. The more real you are, the more you are just the way you are, whether you are comfortable with it at the start or not. But if you just expose what you are, people are getting attracted to this. They start relating to you so much more. So then they will give you the energy by watching your lives and, you know, interacting with you. They're giving you more inspiration to open more and more and more. And as you said, you know, this authentic marketing, which is still a marketing, you know, but that impacts your business and that impacts your life. Yeah. I actually found that ever since I started doing the videos on Facebook and my lives, it was the same, you know. If I was just watching a video I did on, today's a Wednesday, and in my group I did a WordPress Wednesday video, and I found a video I recorded maybe 4 months ago for my website or the other group that I had. I don't even remember what I recorded it, but it was crazy. It was just day and night because I was so uncomfortable in that video. You know, it's like I had like too much makeup, and you know, it was all fake. I was wearing like this, you know, clothes that I, you know, don't really kind of, it's not really me. I'm at home here, you know, so I need to be comfortable, and you know, so it's and the more, and there was no response to those videos at all. You know, they were just kind of coming and going. They were nothing. And now I get really good interaction. I get people who genuinely are excited to see me, or if I invite them to an interview, they get very excited. Like, Eddie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sort of saying like, why is that? What did I do? But this is true. This is true. And this is at the very bottom of what I'm trying to teach people here on Facebook, that you just need to open up, you know, in your business, in your marketing, in your live videos, in your everything in your life, because when you do that, your life gets enriched. So even though you might spend more time here on Facebook and you're talking to a screen, and it might from to the outsider feel a little bit like it's antisocial thing, but it's not. It's actually the other way around. You get to meet people who are your perfect match that you sometimes will not meet because they might just not be in that location where you are right now. You know, you meet people who are amazing. You meet people that when you go to bed, you're saying, oh my God, my mind is blown. I'm so inspired. And then you go and apply it in your business, in your life. And I think that this is such a beautiful cycle that we have. Now, I think that Eddie just froze, and I hope it wasn't me. Well, guys, listen, thank you so much for watching. I will give it a couple of seconds to see if Eddie will unfreeze and come back to us. But if he doesn't, then, well, at least he froze in a very cute pose. So that's good enough for me. Guys, thank you very much for watching. And if you want to get in touch with Eddie and learn more about Instagram, I suppose just go to his personal profile, check out his company, you know, PM him, but don't spam him. I don't like people being spammed on Facebook. I don't like when people send people messages on Facebook and then they expect, like, you know, the story of their lives typing back. So don't do that, okay? And respect each other. Anyway, and after this, I'm just going to say goodbye because I don't think that Eddie's coming back. He's now frozen completely. But look, I thought it was a brilliant chat because I find it very inspirational when somebody shares the story. And actually, like Eddie is saying, I find it very romantic that he is sharing his personal life, his inner world through the live videos. I find that it's extremely romantic, and you can sense that. And that's why 30 people are watching his lives. It's really, really enjoyable. If you can spend time and, you know, definitely go and get notifications, get notified when Eddie's live, because it's enjoyable and it's inspiring to watch. Okay. And are you back? No, but sure. This is what happens on Facebook. This is live, and we're prepared to all this. Guys, thanks a million for watching. I will be with you tomorrow, and tomorrow is going to be a woo-woo session because I have Lorraine White, who is going to do a reading for me for numerology and an astrology reading. So it's going to be a complete woo-woo land. And if you're into that, and I'm into that, join me at 7 p.m. my time, and the same time as we were here with Eddie. And Eddie, I don't know if you can hear us, I hear something, but thank you so much for joining me today. It was an absolute pleasure, and I really, really enjoyed having you. And maybe we'll hook up again and when the connection is a bit better. Guys,